What's up, everybody? Welcome to some black-white overwhelming Splendor. Hope you're excited to get some nice little black-white curses on. I am. Maybe we can get down actual overwhelming Splendor. It's always fun when we can get that down. As far as our opening hand, yeah, this is not too bad. We have Phyrexian Unlife, which is kind of one of our lock pieces, if you want to call it that. Ghostly Prison to kind of slow our opponent down. And some Leyline of Sanctity. Yes, we will keep on this one. It's pretty much a beautiful opening hand for a deck like this. Yep. Get that on the battlefield. Anything else, let our opponent do their thing. But yes, welcome to some black-white overwhelming Splendor. Let's go ahead and get the land down for the turn. Let's go ahead and get the, I guess, the Windswept Teeth down. We'll get that. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So, if you didn't see the deck tech, or this is the first deck that the first gameplay video that you're watching, we are playing black-white overwhelming Splendor or black-white curses, whatever you want to call it. We have a lot of Shrieking Affliction. Okay, this is going to be interesting. If this is 8-rack, yeah, this will be interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll go and crack the Windswept. I'll kind of finish that statement in just a second. Let's go and crack the Windswept Teeth, because we might have a chance on this one. Let's go for the Godless Shrine, see if we can outrace the Shrieking Afflictions. I know it gets pretty, if you never play against 8-rack, it's pretty bananas sometimes. Let's go and get the Marsh Flats down. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So we're looking at Phyrexian Unlife next turn. We can get down Phyrexian Unlife. Then we have to go for the Tutor. And then the following turn we can finally get down Solemnity. And then that way we can kind of get out from underneath the Shrieking Affliction. And then slowly start working our way towards getting our curses on the battlefield and outgrinding our 8-rack opponents. So I'm actually excited about this matchup. Don't want to lose too much life on this one so we can get out from underneath those. Because once they get your life, yeah, those Shrieking Afflictions, man, it's just... you just get, it's like getting hit by a bus. It's just, oh, dang it, man, I get hit by a bus. That's not fun. It's never fun to get hit by a bus. So if you can help it, don't do it. Let's go and go for Phyrexian Unlife. I think that sounds good. It's going to buy us a little bit more time. We can go for the Tutor next turn, get that down, and then get down the Solemnity, and then have been a nice little hard lock. Because if we're playing against mono black 8-rack, they're really not going to have much in the way of dealing with enchantments that are already on the battlefield. But yeah, so this is pretty much what the deck revolves around. So we have Phyrexian Unlife. We don't lose the game for having 0 less life. As long as you have 0 less life, all damage dealt to you as though it had Infect. Smallpox, discard land, sack a land. That's fine. We have another land in the hand. I think on this one, we'll just go ahead and discard the... we'll just go ahead and discard the nodes. I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, we'll discard the nodes. We'll get rid of the Concealed Courtyard. Sack a land. And then we'll be online for the Islanders. Now, the only thing is if they have another Smallpox, that's really going to set us back. But, well, hey, we draw into another land, so I'll take that. Let's go and crack the Marsh Flats. Let's go for Plains on this one. There we go. And let's go for the Idyllic Tutor. And let's go ahead and grab Solemnity. There we go. Goes into the hand. Anything else? Now we're going to pass the turn. So, Phyrexian Unlife. You don't lose the game for having 0 less life. And then if you would be dealt damage, you get poison counters instead. So we get down Solemnity on the battlefield. Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifact creatures or lands. So basically what's going to happen is once we get to 0, we're just going to, you know, just flatline at 0 and never go below 0. It's a lot of fun. And then that allows us to very slowly work towards our curses or get enough mana to get it down. You know, if we're playing against an opponent like this, like 8-rack, where they don't really have a lot of stuff to do against the enchantments, it's actually pretty good for us. I'm just going to get down Solemnity. Oh, yeah. And then we'll go and make the land drop for the turn with the Horizon Canopy. And that's a good thing about playing against 8-rack, is, you know, they didn't really, I guess, we did catch that, I guess there's an Inquisition of Kozilek, but I guess they discarded that or something. But, yeah, they probably discarded the Smallpox, but at least we're going to be able to get around the hand disruption. Now, oh, excuse me, it's Leyline of Sanctity, duh. That's why they can't go for it. Let's go ahead and get the Windswept Teeth down. Let's go ahead and go for the Idyllic Tutor, so we're going to go ahead and get this going. Yeah, I forgot the Leyline was on the battlefield. That's why they didn't use any of the hand disruption. So it's going to be really good in a matchup like this, actually. So now with this Idyllic Tutor, we're going to start our curse tutoring off with the Curse of Misfortunes. That's going to allow us to search up a curse every single time. So we're going to grab that Curse of Misfortunes. We're going to be able to get it down next turn. And once that's on the battlefield, we can slowly start rolling our options out. One of the ways that we can close the game out is Torment of Scarabs. That's going to have our opponent losing 3 life each turn if they don't sacrifice something. Quest for the Nile Stone. Okay, that's fun. I love the art on that. It looks great. I love all those quest cards. I kind of dabble a little bit in Dungeons and Dragons for some of my friends. I'm the dungeon master, and seeing cards like that, man, they always make me want to like, oh yeah, I want to get going on that. Let's go and get the Godless. Like, I just want to make a story about that. I don't know, it looks pretty cool. Not gonna pay 2 on this one. Let's go and get the. Let's go for the Curse of Misfortunes. Gonna choose our opponent to enchant on this one. It's gonna be 1, pay on the green. And then we should be good to go once this gets on the battlefield. So we can go Torment of Scarabs, and then once we get enough curses on the battlefield, we can actually go for the Curse of Thirst. I think that's what it's called. And then our opponent's going to lose life equal to the number of curses that are attached to them. So we can definitely kind of help us accelerate the game plan. Alright, so that's going to get on the battlefield if our opponent clicks Resolve. But yeah, if you ever think about getting into Dungeons and Dragons, definitely your Magic cards are a very great source for you to look, and just for any sort of storyline. Like the other day, like I bought a random pack and I was looking through the pack and the different art and stuff like that, and just pick out 2 or 3 cards that you really enjoy art-wise and just kind of make up a story for them. So, alright, we're going to use Curse of Misfortune's ability. Let's go ahead and sax an online permanent. We could go for the Cruel Reality. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit better clock. So let's go and go for Cruel Reality. Get that on the battlefield. And then draw into Leyline of Sanctity. I guess we'll just... it doesn't really matter on this one. We'll just go ahead and get the double Leyline down just to add insult to injury. we also we do have Shrine in here. We have a copy of Shrine in here, so it's going to be at least 2 more devotions. So that's kind of what we meant for that one. So we do have Cruel Reality on the battlefield. So at the beginning of Enchanted Player's Upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker. If they can't, they lose 5 life. So at this point right now, we're about on a 4-turn clock to go for that. Next turn off the Curse of Misfortune, probably end up going for the Scarabs, because that's going to be a little bit better to get it going. Outside of the other curses in the deck that we can tutor up, we do have Curse of Death's Hold, which gives our opponent's creatures -1/-1. And then outside of that, we have Overwhelming Splendor, which makes our creatures all 1/1. So we get those on the battlefield. If we're playing against a heavy creature style deck, then they basically can't cast any more creatures because it's a nice little creature hardlock on that one. And then we're playing decks like this to where we just can't lose at this point in the game. Then we just go for that. And I guess we'll just go ahead and hold on to a few cards in the hand. That way we don't have too many Shrieking Affliction triggers. Alright, yes, we're going to use that ability. Let's go ahead and... I think at this point we'll go Torment of Scarabs. Non-land permanent or discards a card. Yeah, they're going to start discarding a card. That'll be 1, 2, 3. That'll be 3 more. That'll be 8 going down. That'll be 2-turn clock. Yeah, let's go for the Curse of Thirst because that'll be technically 3 curses on them. And I think at this point, we're just going to hold on to our lands. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get out from underneath the Shrieking Afflictions losing life, technically, even though it's not damage. But at this point, we'll just go ahead, just to be safe, we'll keep an extra card in the hand. Alright, Curse of Thirst, Cruel Reality. Puts them down to 6, and that should be game next turn if we kick it over to our opponent. Unless they can find anything to do. We'll see what we want to sideboard against all these Shrieking Afflictions. But I've been on the I've been on the other end of 8-rack before, and it feels pretty good to do that back to 8-rack. What are we going to go for? We could go for Ruined Halo. No, Shrieking Affliction will not work with Ruined Halo, so we're not going to bring that one in. The only thing I think I'm not sure if there's really anything we want to change in there. They do have other stuff in 8-rack we could bring in for Ruined Halo. If we're going to bring in like the rack, I think that's going to deal damage to you. It wouldn't hurt to go and bring some of those in. Let's just go and back off the Overwhelming Splendor, and we'll get rid of the Curse of Death's Hold. Let's go and bring in 2 Ruined Halos. We could bring in the Surgical Extractions at this point to kind of get rid of a few key cards. The Nodes is pretty much just going to be kind of a dead card on this one. They might have some of the, like a few light creature packages in here, but I like bringing in a Surgical Extraction. The Paths of Greater Orman, so we don't really have to worry about that. And then we'll just bring in 2 more Ruined Halos. I think that sounds pretty good. Okay, we'll go submit this over to Game 2. Okay, welcome back to Game 2. We do have Ruined Halo in the hand that we can't name from the rack. Outside of this, this kind of goes nowhere really quick, so let's go and mulligan on this one. Ooh, not the best. Let's go 1 more mulligan. Yeah, I mean, we had Ruined Halo, that would have been nice, but we really don't have any of our lock pieces, and you always want to have at least 1 lock piece or a tutor or something to... just to kind of show for yourself as far as this deck. We're mulligan against 8-rack, which is not, hey, ain't the best thing in the world. I guess we'll go and go 1 more go. Okay, we'll keep on this one. We have the ley line. That's going to be important, so that'll be good. And then Ghostly Prison if they get any sort of creatures out there. But mainly our hand's not going to get attacked where they're going to have to keep discarding a bunch of cards. We have to keep discarding a bunch of cards and then get down to a quick Shrieking Affliction. So that should be good. We'll roll with this hand. But yeah, we did bring in the Runed Halo. So I think the only thing, depending on if our opponent has it in their hand, what we can do is... there we go. Scry 1. Actually, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. Oh! Dang it. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. Alright. We did the scry thing and I accidentally double-clicked my hotkey for F2. And so our opponent's about to find out what happened off the Ley Line of Sanctity. So, it's a little bit of a bummer. But hey, mistakes happen in Magic. They're called happy little mistakes. One of my favorite persons told me that one time, and we'll be able to survive. All right, we're going to go and kick it over our opponent. But yeah, so we do have Runed Halo in here, so we can go for the rack. And if you're not familiar with the rack, an 8 rack, if an opponent has fewer than 3 cards in hand during his or her upkeep, the rack deals 1 damage to that opponent for each card fewer than 3. So that's something that we can name off that. And let's go and discard the... I guess at this point we'll just discard the Torment of Scarabs. Man, that's such a bummer that we didn't get Leyline on the battlefield. But hey, we're going to have to stay strong on this one. I believe in ourselves and our ability to get down a bunch of nice curses. If not, then we'll just ship it over to Game 3. But yeah, that's the unfortunate side of playing online sometimes, is that you accidentally double-click something real quick and double-click the F2 button instead of clicking on the ley line. So, hey, it is what it is. Let's go to crack the Marsh Flats. Let's go and get a, grab a Godless Shrine, put it in play tap. I'm not going to pay 2. Let's see what we draw into Solemnity. Let's go and get the Windswept Heath down. Anything else? Now we're going to go and pass the turn. Our opponent they only have 2 cards in hand, so depending on if they have a land card in the hand, they can retrace on Raven's Crime. But other than that, we'll probably still... I may end up getting rid of Leyline of Sanctity. That way we can at least get down the Solemnity on the battlefield. Whenever opponent discards a card, you may put a quest counter on it. And whenever no cards in hand deals, lose 5 life. Okay. Let's go crack the Windswept Heath. Let's grab the Godless Shrine, put it in play tab. I'm not going to pay 2. Draw into Sigil. So let's go and get the Marsh Flats down. Let's go and crack the Marsh Flats. Let's go and grab a white source off this one. And let's go and get down to Solemnity. And then hopefully we'll hit the land drop, go for Leyline, and be able to survive past that. But yeah, so this deck, you know, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of one of those Magic decks where, you know, I wouldn't take it to a tournament. But hey, you know, if you're going to take it to Friday Night Magic and have fun with some people, maybe... catch one of the spikes at the local gaming stores with this deck. When you're playing this deck, you're kind of you shouldn't be concerned with win percentage. That's one thing you need to come watch out for. It's just kind of like your goal is, hey, can I get some curses on the battlefield and close it out like that? A Concealed Courtyard. Okay, we're going to get that down. That'll put us online for Leyline next turn, and then hopefully we can kind of draw into something else. We do have a little bit of card draw in here in the Night's Whisper, which kind of really allows us to kind of shake our hand up. When I was originally testing this deck, there was just, you know, Black has card draw, but you know, stuff like Dark Confidant wouldn't work really well in a deck like this. Ooh, Surgical Extraction. I think we may end up going for that off the Raven's Crime, so we don't have to discarding. Yeah, we can still, yeah, we can even get down Leyline too, so we're going to go for that. And then actually, we'll see, with Leyline on the battlefield, we'll see exactly what we're going to go for with Surgical Extraction, grabbing out of our opponent's deck. But at this point right now, we just have 2 cards in hand, so we do have to watch out for any sort of extra little combo pieces, like the Shrieking Affliction or anything like that, because those damage triggers really add up really quick. So, okay, let's see what they're going to go for. They have 3 total mana tapped. Fulminator Mage. Okay. If you know, if they want to blast one of the lands, go for it. At this point, if we hit the land drop, we'll be online for Sigil. We can start getting some nice little angel tokens on the battlefield. Ooh, or you can just draw into the nice little combo like that. I'll take that. All right, get down Phyrexian Unlife. And then that should give us a nice little hard lock until we can get down Sigil and then start casting some of our other enchantments, get some nice little angels on the battlefield, start swinging in. But yeah, so if you're going to build this deck, go for it, man. It's a lot of fun, but just kind of view it as like your win is getting down curses at least 1 game out of your match of 3. That's going to be the best way to approach it. If you approach it that way, you're going to be a happy camper because, I don't know, it's just fun to kind of play like, this is kind of like a pillow fort deck, if you want to call it that, I guess. In a way, it kind of is, because we're getting down Solemnity and Phyrexian Unlife. But yeah, you know, it's fun to play decks like that. Like, I built when I first got into Magic, I built a red-white, a Symbol of the Legion deck with Curse of Exhaustion and, oh, what's that other one? it's the Possibility Storm, where you cast a spell and then you, like, it's the same type, and then you cast a spell and you flip until you get it. And so the way you would win is you get down Curse of Exhaustion, you get down Possibility Storm, a bunch of other stuff like that. Mind Slicer. Dies, each player discards his or her hand. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, so and then you would win with Assemble the Legion. After you got that on the battlefield, you kind of locked your opponent out. So there's just something fun about kind of building a Magic deck that's just kind of bananas. All right, so we do have Ruined Halo. What are we gonna go for? Player loses 5 life. Don't lose the game, however, 0 less life. I guess we'll just, at this point, we'll just hold on to it as a Sigil of the Empty Throne target. You know, if we hit 5 mana, we can finally get down Sigil. We're protected with Leyline of Sanctity, so that'll give us some sort of clock to kind of go for. So we'll just at least kind of do that. So our opponent does have Fulminator Mage and the Mind Slicer on the battlefield. Both sitting at we have 6 coming across, but with Solemnity and the Phyrexian Unlife, we're going to be able to kind of push past this one. So at this point, we're just looking for 5th land to get down Sigil, and then we go for Ruined Halo. And now, Sigil of the Empty Throne, I ran as many as 3 copies in the deck when I originally started going for this. I cut it back down to 1, just because when you have multiple copies of Sigil of the Empty Throne, it is, man, it's just not a good Magic feel moment. And so, I realized when you build it, like when I was building this deck, you know, we just kind of went all in on the Solemnity and the Phyrexian Unlife kind of interaction, to where once you get that on the battlefield, then we can start getting out some nice little value outside of that. So running 1 copy of Sigil in here, it's a good way for us to kind of just get some nice little incremental value off some of our enchantments. But if you want to play the deck and you bump that number up a little bit, you can definitely go for that, especially if you run 2 or 3 copies of them and kind of cut some of the other cards, maybe some of the other curses or something like that. Okay. I guess we could Ruined Halo on Fulminator Mage, but it's not really going to matter at this point. I'd still rather hold on to it for Sigil of the Empty Throne. So we'll go ahead and just pass the turn. Kick it over to our opponent. So they're going to be able to swing in next turn. That's going to be 8 coming across and put us down to 1. Now, if you are playing with Phyrexian Unlife, let's say we don't have Solemnity on the battlefield. They're going to be able to swing in for 8, put us down to 1. Phyrexian Unlife doesn't work like trample damage. So let's say that they get us down to 1, they swing in again for 8 next turn, that's finally going to put us past the 0, and then after that combat step, we'll finally start getting those infect things. So it's not just like, if they swing in for another 8 next turn, it's not like we're going to get 1 go down to 0 and then get like 6 or 7 poison counters. The next combat step, you're going to start getting those poison counters. So that's just kind of one of those the more you know moments in Magic. So if you're ever playing against Phyrexian Unlife, or you want to play around with Phyrexian Unlife as far as brewing a deck or something like that, you actually won't start getting those counters until after you've gone past the 0 less life clause. Alright, draw to Idyllic Tutor. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. We'll go and fire Idyllic Tutor off. Get that down on the battlefield. We can go and search up the Curse card. That's going to be a good option for us. We'll go and grab the... all of our cards are curses. The Curse of Misfortunes. Yeah, we'll grab that one. That way if we do hit the land drop, we can get that down and then start just... searching up our curses. Now, they do have a lot of creatures out there. We are sitting at 1, so we'll probably still, I don't know exactly what line of play we'll go for, but the good thing is we haven't drawn into any of our curses. So, like Overwhelming Splendor, Cruel Reality, those are 2 cards that we're running in here as strictly as, not strictly, but just as one-ofs, because you don't really want to have multiple copies of it. So there will be some games where you have, like, Overwhelming Splendor in your opening hand, and you're just like, ugh. It's kind of like, and this may make sense, it's kind of like you're almost playing a Reanimator deck with these big enchantments. Like, you don't want them in your opening hand. You just want them as searchable targets in your library instead of just being a Reanimator target out of the graveyard. You just want it to stay in your library. So running more than 1 copy of the really big enchantments like Cruel and Overwhelming Splendor, it's it'll lead to some Magic feel bad moments if you get those going. Alright, opponent's going to swing in. That's going to be, I think, yeah, swinging in for 6. That's going to put us down to 0. It's just going to stabilize at 0 since we cannot get poison counters. Or, excuse me, go down to -7. So now, actually, if we draw into a fetch land, we're not going to be able to crack it off that one. So hopefully we draw into one of our basics or something like that. And... sorry, I saw Ted Cruz on the news, and that's had me chuckling all day. I'm not going to get into it, but That's pretty funny. All right, opponent skips it up. We go down to -7. We have the Solemnity on the battlefield. We have Phyrexian Life. See if we had hit a land on this last one. Finally, we'd hit Herbivore. We'd have gone for Curse of Misfortunes to get that down. If you want to go for style points, we could have gone for the Curse of Deathhold and then go for Overwhelming Splendor and then followed it up with Cruel Reality to just start nickel and diming them for 5 damage a turn. But we lock out our opponent even through a nice little misclick, not clicking on the Leyline of Sanctity. So we did survive it, getting past A-Rack. All right, everybody, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.